Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, I've got a surprise for
You have a
everyone.
surprise. Is it a cat? I hear a cat. It's a fat kitty, and he is so happy to be there.
Say hi.
No.
Look at
It's
his
like
little
he's,
bird. He's fat
yeah,
belly.
caught him between naps.
Yeah, go fat kitty.
Now, the question is, did Annette make it here in time?
I don't know. She might have missed him. You know what, though? Annette has enough kitties. She could look at
But
one of her own.
she doesn't
Will
have
I
fat
ever
kitty.
stream with the bunny in my arms? The bunny doesn't like me. I can pick the bunny up to move her, like if I'm putting her in her cage, but not for more than just a quick second.
What, she would struggle even more than fat
Yeah, and
kitty?
the thing with rabbits is like they can struggle so hard they will break their back legs.
Mm,
So
don't want that.
yeah, so I try not to pick her up, except like I'll just quick scoot her back in her cage into her.
Gardens, did you miss Fat Kitty? I
Mister,
saw
missed
for
him.
like all of 20 seconds.
Oh, you
Oh,
saw him in
good.
all his glory, all his fat and wowing
Good.
glory. Now he's under the table. What is he doing?
Looking for plants.
He is eating a paper. I know.
Sounds
I
about
see.
right.
I need that paper. So
That's an important floor document.
yeah. Okay. Can't eat that one. We need that. All right. The
So
drama of wet your plants.
totally.
It's a
Brookley is
tremendous
lurking
dream.
while she's on the phone with Thor's veterinarian. So
Okay. I hope Thor is doing okay.
Thor has a lump on his back that
Let's hope.
she said was has grown. So
Let's
yeah,
hope it's just a fatty tumor. Dogs get those. Because
yeah.
Cookie's had some lumps and bumps every now and again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What are they called? Lipomas.
Lipomas. Lipoma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Lumps and
Bex's
bumps.
cat, Rin has like a few and like just had one. It's always scary because it's like,
It
oh
is.
crap,
Right.
it's another
Yeah.
lump.
Because you worry about your pets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But they're common. So, I mean, they happen in people too. People get lumps and bumps.
I got lots of lumps and bumps. They've all kind of fused together into one.
And into one giant lump. Oh, yeah. So, so we have not been together in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, we skipped
3 weeks.
2 weeks,
We did, right? Because you were in Disney World,
and then
and
you were in
then we had,
Pondland.
yeah, then we had Labor Day or late Memorial Day. I always get those mixed up. Memorial Day because I was working on my pond.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we have this, but then next week
Yep. Next
there will be
week,
no wet your plants. There will be something else, maybe.
another stream. You're leaving
Another
me for another
stream.
stream,
I'm leaving you for another stream
but it's for a good cause.
for a
It's
good
for
cause.
fishfam.link. It'll be on the Fishfam Link
Right.
YouTube channel, and it'll be another shopping spree giveaway.
That's right. Should we tell them what the shopping is for? I
Yeah, I
mean,
think that in fact the stream is scheduled. Thumbnail is up, so I'm
okay.
sure somebody will
Well,
be dropping a link to it.
yeah. So next week I'm going shopping for a giveaway to Dan's Fish. So that's exciting.
Livestock or plants or
I think
both.
we're gonna do livestock. It'll be
See?
livestock. So don't try to win them if you don't want to keep them. No. I mean, because he does giveaways on his channel for fish. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to keep them, like if I shop for like plecos or something.
Oh, There's oh my, there's 101 dwarf red tail eels available on Dan's site right
Oh,
now.
those are so nice. I
That's
love
really freaking tempting. They're just
They're so
so
cool.
many of them right
Well,
now.
you've seen them, right? I mean, they're like
Yeah, I have.
they're good little community fish because they
Hmm.
just kind of chill around and lurk in the bottom, and you don't see them all the time. Well, because my tank is so heavily planted that I don't see them all the time. In a more bare tank, I would see them more often. It's not like they're shy. It's just that, I mean, look at this jungle. But they're cool little fish. They vacuum up flakes. They're so cute. Jenna says I heard Kelly was going to shop for 5 Oscars, so hopefully the winner has a large
Yeah.
bag.
Does she have any Oscars right now? I don't think so. I think
We're
they're
all
gone.
going to try to win for June. I don't know. Even June, does she have room for 5 Oscars?
She just bought Oscars
That's where she
today,
bought
she
the
said.
new. She bought the fancy Oscar too, the one that Dan had. The
McColgie?
I yeah.
McColgi? I
So
don't know. Well, there's none available right now, so no Oscars.
okay.
But I'm just looking at the eels. Like, if you buy a pair of those eels, I may
Oh,
have to
that's
enter for that.
I don't know
Because,
what I'll get, but I'll say that they're very good community fish. I think they would be fine for almost any tank. I mean, they're really like they're nice fish. Yeah, I think they'd be good in lots of people's tanks. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to go shopping for yet. So yeah.
Scotty has raised his hand.
All
He
right.
has a question.
All right. My 20-gallon CO2 tank, I've been squirting the fert slow and steady over the week. Everything is green. The green is everywhere. Hairy, bubbly. If it's green and algae, it's in my tank. Help. Well, I mean, algae is a part of newer setups, and this is a newer setup.
Hmm.
I would make sure you're following the package directions for fertilizer.
Well,
And this is a newer tank.
we were telling him to do like just a squirt a
Yeah.
day instead of the two
I
however
think that's
often.
reasonable because he doesn't have a ton of plant mass yet.
Yeah, and it sounds, I don't know what the light level is at, how many lights you've got on there and what
Yeah.
the schedule is, but whatever it is, try cutting it in half for a little while.
Yeah. So I don't, whatever your photo period is, knock a couple hours off it. If you
Hmm.
have lights that you can raise them up. If you have lights that you can dim them down.
Yeah.
So do that. And that does help. If you really, really get desperate, you can do a total blackout for a couple days.
Hmm.
But in my experience, things do balance out. You have to stay the course with fertilizing. Like you have to give your plants what they need so they can outcompete the junk that's there.
Yeah.
I will say if it's a slightly older tank, clean your filter. But
True. I
this
think, is it
isn't
just a sponge filter in there? And now this is the tank that still just has pots, right? Doesn't
get
have
something in
a,
there that's not in pots because those plants are not super happy is the problem.
right. They need room, like they need to know that they can go wherever they want
Right.
and just like spread their roots
Yep.
and
Find
not be
some fast
confined.
flowing stem and plant it.
I got some of those.
I bet you do.
I mean, I've sent them.
Even Scotty probably has something.
Hmm.
But I mean, they're just not never going to be happy in those pots. Electrolytes.
Rondo. Rondo's got electrolytes.
God,
It's
I
what
love
plants
that
crave.
movie. Jake
Yeah.
has never seen that movie. It's so good.
And uh Rico
Idiocracy.
talking about Fudd, or somebody was talking about Fuddruckers on Rico's stream today. And I always called it Rudfuckers. And in Idiocracy, they also call it Rudfuckers.
I think every kid called it that. We never had those in Iowa though. So, they're not a thing I grew up with. But yeah, try those, Scotty. But your goal is to make your plants as healthy and happy as possible to outcompete the algae. So
And yeah, Matt could use a Jake.
Couldn't we all? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's a lot of heavy labor moving all that gravel. I mean, I did some of it on my own, but it's tough. It's tough. I hope it's not too hot there.
It's hot there. He
Yeah.
was, I think he sent a picture the other day, just like basically steaming.
Yeah, it
Just
was hot here, but our heat broke and it's beautiful today. It's like 79 degrees and no
mm,
humidity and it's really, really nice. I
it's
was just outside for
74 right now. It's raining. I went out because I forgot that Zinger was asking what the temp of my pond was, and so I shot the temp gun at the pond. The pond is still 85. What's
I'm
up
not
with that?
surprised. You've got circulation, it's pretty deep. I mean, that's why bigger ponds are more stable.
Well, it
So yeah,
should cool
Matt says
off.
it's 92. Iowa has the worst climate on earth, I
Ugh.
swear. It's just as hot as Louisiana in the summer. It's just as humid. And then in the winter, it's so cold. So
Oh, but did you hear that Myrtle's at home right now,
I
and his
know.
family's congregating in the living room because it's the AC's broken
I thought it was getting fixed, so let's hope that happens
this
soon.
week. Yeah,
But at least he has the respite of going to work.
unbelievable.
I mean, it's
It's
like
like
a
you have to
release to go to
shower
work.
and get out of your house before you start sweating again.
So Foxann, it's still 87 there in Wisconsin. Oy.
Mm.
That heat needs to break because in 2 weeks I am going to Wisconsin.
Finally,
Yeah, I'm gonna go see my sister for a few days, and I'm gonna see Foxanne.
yeah,
So
that's what I'm talking about because that last trip got put off.
it did because Brian and Foxanne were sick, but this time we're not gonna get sick.
No, no one's gonna get
Those
sick.
kids of my sisters are not gonna get me sick. They've gotten me
Don't
sick so many
just don't eat
times.
anything exotic, I guess. Don't get food poisoning
I've had food poisoning there before.
from Wisconsin.
Well, it wasn't food poisoning. I think the kids gave me something because they were sick, and then they gave me something.
Mm.
You know how it is. Those damn kids always get you sick.
Yeah, you heard about Zachary getting food poisoning on the way home from
Yes,
Disney.
poor kid. Oh, he was so sick.
Yeah,
Ugh, no fun for anyone. Gina, I should come visit you because I have you in St. Louis. I have other friends in St. Louis, and I want to come see your store too.
I'll go see her store when it's got more fresh water.
I would go see your store with saltwater too.
Yeah,
Saltwater
I would
stores
too.
are fun to visit, even if you don't have them. And
Because they're
Jenna, you're
pretty.
right. I had no food poisoning on that trip. It was great. I ate so much food. It was so good.
Yeah. Oh, we just sent you home with excess calories.
I was so fat when I got back. The food there is so good. So,
Do you think I should put a mosaic in my pond?
it's a really cool plant. You could.
I never could get them to work in the aquarium. They
Oh,
looked
they don't
great
work
for a
in
while, but the
aquariums.
minute something choked it out, shaded it out, it was like bye bye.
I think it's pretty appropriate for a pond. They have to be somewhat deep, I think. Not too deep.
Do they need to be rooted?
Yes, they have to be planted in substrate.
That's what I was thinking, because
Yeah.
like there's a long stem, but the leaves don't
Hmm.
grow along the stem until you get to the top, and they all
Yeah,
spread
you
out.
gotta plant it like you could put it in one of those pockets, but it needs to be more underwater than that. I don't know if I'd sink it all the way to the bottom. I think I would elevate it on a basket or a brick,
I could do
something to get it up a
something like
little
that.
bit. And you could probably plant it either like you would a lily, or you could plant it in straight gravel. It'd probably be okay. So
Well, do you want to see what the pond looks like as of 20
I
minutes
do
ago?
want to see it. Yeah, I mean, I did a tour this morning.
Yeah, yeah. I
Gina
mean,
said she
yours.
would order rainbows just for me. Oh, even if she had to order them from Dan's Fish. I would like to visit Gina though. We would have fun together.
Order rainbows from Dan and then mark them up again. You looking for a fifty
That's
dollar
carving.
rainbow?
Wow, it better be a good rainbow.
It's raining, so. It's drippy. I
Okay.
got
Well, look at
five
all those pads. Yeah.
five pads now.
And
The
so that's all out of the which variety did I give you? Moncala Ubal or one Visa? I think I give you one Visa.
I think you did, yeah.
That one is a very vigorous grower and it has hot pink flowers. It's very pretty.
Cool.
It's very
And then
vigorous. It should bloom for you.
over on the right here, you can sort of see the pot. That's Brooklyn's Pink Beauty. Nothing yet. I don't know. Is it possible that I messed up and planted it upside down, or is it gonna eventually find its way anyway?
Hopefully it'll find its way. You could lift it up and look at it and see if it has any little leaves poking up.
I lifted it up yesterday.
Yeah, you might want to like unearth it a little bit and see.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool though. Well, thank
Austin, thanks.
you.
Thanks for the super
Thank
sticker.
you,
Are you going today?
Austin. Yeah.
I looked earlier, didn't see a stream scheduled, but I haven't checked it in a little while. So yeah, and I've got just water lettuce hanging out in there, which once the other stuff takes over, I'll remove it. But I just wanted something in there, and so these pockets here. I actually have another one just like this. I was going to plant on the opposite side.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
cool. Well, except I will tell you this that one Visa will get really, really big and it will fill the pond.
okay. I mean,
Now,
you think that like a pocket on the other side of this equal size would be too much then?
uh actually, I mean, I don't think it's a problem. You could. I'm just, telling you like it will fill the
Uh,
pond. But since it's
yeah.
on the side like that, yeah, you could.
I was more
And that way
worried
you can
about when
grow other
Brooklyn's
things.
when Brooklyn's lily starts taking off. Like, is that going to take up too much space for it to stay in there?
I mean, they'll just have to figure it out. I
Mm,
mean, it ideally you would want just one water lily in that pond, but you know,
yeah.
it'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Well,
The
Brooklyn has a
pea is not
tub.
quite as
I'll
big.
sh Brooklyn just has to like I think pressure wash off the paint that was on the interior, and then put Flex Seal over it, and then it's good to go.
Yeah. So Foxhand says I was told never to submerge the mosaic leaves to let it grow enough to plant in the substrate. Mine is just chilling as a floater for now. I think that you want to plant the stem and let it grow up. This is what I've been told.
When I had the stem in the substrate, it definitely developed roots really quickly.
Right. Yeah, this is what I understand. I would still plant it.
Like people call it a floater, but I don't know if it's like
It's
actually
not
a
a
traditional
floater. It's
floater.
not a
Yeah.
floater. It's just it yeah. You need to plant it. From everything I've read, you need to plant it.
Mm.
So, but I've never kept it, so that is only secondhand knowledge. I would plant it though.
And Austin said, "No stream. Been crazy busy with work lately. Might go live for a late night stream though."
All right, well that's exciting. Austin After Dark.
Sounds good.
So
Last
Matt
late
says,
night stream I saw, he was filling up a 75-gallon tank with buckets,
"Whoa,
like a crazy person.
you're what? You're a wild man, Austin."
Hmm.
So, let's see. Matt says in a few days he will get in touch with me about what plants you should plant. I mean, there's a lot of really fun pond plants. And depending on where you want to buy them from, you can order them. Sometimes you can find things at your garden center, though this time of year things are getting picked over. But you might
Yeah.
still be able to, even Lowe's or Home Depot. But again, it's starting to get picked over this time of year. So, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. And you have a lot of choices you can make too. Do you have anything planted in there?
Just for shits and giggles, whenever I had this set up, what is in this one is that mini Lobelia cardinalis.
Okay. Yeah.
I know it's not going to flower, it's not going to do anything special.
Yeah.
But this is
That is
just
cool.
I want to see what
Lobelia
happened.
cardinalis is a really boring plant in an aquarium and a really exciting plant, either in the ground or in a pond, submersed. You can plant them in
So
the ground too, and they're native to the United States. They're prairie plants. They grow in kind of damp pothole type ground. But I have 4 of those growing, 2 different varieties of them.
My
So, and they
problem
get
is
big spikes of red flowers.
I need a shopping list, probably the same as Matt. Like I just need to be
Okay.
told, go buy these containers, go buy this
Okay.
substrate, go buy these plants.
Well, let's go shopping. Where do you want to buy them from?
Where should I buy them from?
Well, so I've ordered from Tricker, which I really liked. Lily
What
Ponds, I really liked. KJE is another choice. I haven't ordered from KJE, but many people have. He has a lot of stuff. Um, those are the ones I would recommend.
um
So,
well, which one has the biggest selection to start with?
Tricker,
Okay. Tricker. T R
Tricker,
I some TRICKE.
CKER. If
Just
you just
Tricker.
Google Tricker and Pond, you'll find it. So they're in Ohio, which I should just go there one of these days. It's like three
Totally.
hours from where I live, and it's huge.
William Tricker Incorporated.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Okay.
Yeah. It's a super old fashioned website.
Oh god.
I know.
Surprised it didn't ask me, do I want frames or no frames?
It's like GeoCities.
Yeah. Angel Fire.
Let's go to, do they have a section for immersed plants? I've only looked at this on my
So
phone.
let's see. The walk-in store's close to the public. Okay. Uh Shop here. Okay.
Up here.
Lotus. Hardy
Don't
water
get a
lilies.
lotus because it's late in this season and you don't really have a spot for it. Not a water lily, not a tropical water lily, other aquatic plants.
Where's that?
Go up. Other aquatic plants for bogs,
Oh.
ponds, and aquariums.
Okay, and a question from Nano. Sorry, you may have said it already, but what fish are going in there? I don't know yet.
Yeah. So in
I
mine,
mhm.
so I have 5 different ponds. The big one already has my goldfish in it, which are now 7 years old. And then I have my uh, rice fish are in another pond. And then I have 3 new ponds. One of them is going to get rainbow shiners. And
Nice.
from Nancy B in Tennessee, her rainbows that she bred.
I
And
want
then
some of those
one is,
too.
yeah, and one of those is reserved for Foxanne's orange okiki rice fish when they grow up, which
Sweet.
they'll get there. They're almost there, they're hatched out. And then I have one more pond. I might put my rads outside.
Mmm.
So, yeah, rads are a good choice for a pond.
So we've got
Yeah. So,
floating,
floating
tropical,
plants.
shallow water, and bog plants.
So, and some of these, there's restrictions on what will be sent to you or not because of where you live. Let's click on hardy shallow water and bog plants.
All right. Pennywort, forget me
So,
not, hawthorn.
uh, so there are a lot of good choices here. Water forget me not is pretty. I think it's gonna wilt in the heat where you live. I think because it doesn't like
Yeah,
it
it
quite that
needs to
hot.
be very heat hardy for sure.
Water celery is really pretty. It gets pinkish leaves. I like that one. Arrow arum is native to the United States. It's a Sagittaria. That's a cool plant. Giant arrowhead is also native to the United States. That's a Sagittaria. So those are
Is
cool.
that a yes buy it? Because I'll tab
Oh,
it right
not
now.
yet. Let's go through
Okay.
our options first, and I'll tell you what I think of all of them. So
Cool.
scroll. Horsetail is eguisetum. So you've seen that one before, probably. That grows in ditches. It's
Yeah.
native. I've grown it in a pond before. It's cool. Common cattails. So some of those get really, really big. I would look for mini cattails if you were wanting cattails. Um,
Hmm.
Sweet flags. You can find those sometimes in garden centers too. So I am growing the variegated four-leaf clover. That's Marsilea mutica. That's cute. It kind of floats a little bit. You'd want to sink that one to the bottom of your pond though. It's not really an immersed plant.
But do you want it to? It goes to the surface, I assume.
It
Like,
does. It does.
okay.
It's cute. I'm growing it right now. If you look on Instagram, I've got it up. Scroll. So lizard's tail is it's a Lysomachia. It's related to creeping Jenny, and it is super invasive. So I don't know that I would
Hmm.
grow that. Marsh marigolds are native to the United States. They're very pretty, but they bloomed long ago. I don't know if they would like your heat or not. Pickerel rush is an awesome plant, and you should definitely get one of those, maybe even two. That
Okay.
blooms all summer, native to the United States, native to where you live. Pretty flowers, easy growing, leaves are cool. It's a good plant. KJE, I think, has that one too, if you're wanting to buy from someone else.
Yeah. Oh, they're telling me we're gonna get them at Clegg's. I know that's the point. I just want to see the plant and know what to get. But yeah, we have a nursery nearby. But if I just walk into a nursery and just see everything, I'm just gonna be paralyzed. So,
Right. So I don't know if your nursery will have that one or not because it is a pond plant. That one always has to have wet feet. So I don't know if they'll have that. Mine did, and I bought it locally. However, I did buy one from Tricker because I have four of those, and it came in really nice. So cardinal flower, that's Lobelia cardinalis. That's a really nice plant, and they might have that at your nursery.
all right, I'll tab that one. So far I've tabbed Pickerel Rush and Cardinal Flowers. Anything else
Yep.
I should?
Variegated sweet flag. I've seen that at Lowe's before, not in the pond section. Well, they have it in the pond section too at nurseries, but that one's also just it's the scientific name is Acorus, Acoris, and they just have that one like with the perennials. Like it's proven winners graceful glass grasses. It's a sweet flag. So
All right.
don't get the yellow water iris. It is super invasive, but there are other water irises that are really, really nice. I don't see any of them on this list though, but KJE has some. I think there's like a Iris Louisiana or Louisianica or something like that that is native to Louisiana. And it's really pretty. However, I think it's done blooming for the season, but it'll come back next year and it'll flower for you. That'd be nice. So any of the flag irises, the blue flag irises, or that Louisiana iris are good choices, but they are done blooming for the season. So, it's just something to think about.
Okay.
So I don't know what
So
he has in stock.
yeah, I'm checking.
Any canna is a good choice. So that golden sedge, all sedges work well. They also have sedges at Lowe's. I bought sedges at Lowe's, and any sedge will work. Any garden center will have sedges. Sedges always like wet feet, so that's fun. Scroll.
Um, Wait, which one were you talking about?
That
Oh,
golden sedge. Okay, so that's yeah, that's sedge.
okay. This is Irish Black Gamecock, Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good choice for you. It's native. It's done blooming for the season though.
Hmm.
So it's not going to be very exciting for you, but it will come back. And you can leave
Now,
your pond up year round.
are all these ones I would be planting in those little pocket thingies,
Yeah, you
or
can plant that in the pockets.
okay, like all of the ones that we've gone through so far?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cannas, any canna is exciting, and you can probably get cannas at your garden center.
Hmm.
Um, let's just say 85% of cannas do well. There's no way to know which ones won't. So you just have to
So
play canna roulette. But usually they do pretty well.
African Sunset or Cleopatra.
I mean, I don't know if those are specifically the African sunset. I don't think does very well in a pond, in my opinion. I've tried that
Mm,
one.
damn.
Yeah, it just doesn't. That one does better in the ground. So Tarot Black Magic, it's a nice one. I would buy those at the garden center. So Colocasia is the scientific name, or alocasia. They're called elephant ears. There are many, many, many kinds of elephant ears. Just look on the tag and see how tall they get. Just
Okay.
because I don't know what height you want them to be. Because I have some in my bog that are going to get 6 feet tall, I hope, because I want some giant ones. But maybe you want some smaller ones. They're ones that'll get like more like 2 or 3 feet.
Okay.
So, but elephant ears are a good choice, either alocasia or colocasia. You can use the black magic ones; those are nice. I think they get like 3 feet. They're pretty. You can get those locally. I'm very certain.
Yeah. 6 foot would be fabulous, says
Yeah, the
Skinny
big
Boner.
ones are really cool. Then those are water lilies, which you have a water lily.
There's a Chiquita Hannah.
Ludwigia palustris. I mean, that's just
I,
Ludwigia.
yeah, well, I have that.
Yeah. Firecracker plant. I found that
Oh, the
one in the garden
Kufea.
center before, Coffea.
Mm,
It's okay. Aquatic mint, even regular mint will work. If you want a mint, you can grow any mint. Mint is hard to kill.
I know Brooklyn has mint. She's been trying to give me some of that too.
Yeah. I mean, mint is a forever plant if you, you can't get rid of it. It does smell good though. Corkscrew rush, that's a cool plant. You can find that one for sure at like Lowe's or Home Depot or any garden center.
All
It's a
right.
cool plant. I like that. I have that growing in my pond and I have grown it before.
Bloody Dock. That looked like something else at first glance. Okay.
That is a nice plant. I have grown that before. It is native. It's also edible. It tastes pretty good. You can eat
Okay.
it as a salad.
It
That's a
looks cool
nice
to me.
plant.
Yeah.
I have bought that one locally before. But it depends on what you have for pond plants because that one needs wet feet. So I have never grown chameleon plant before. I've seen it. It's really pretty.
Nice hot pink
And
leaf
yellow and
edges. Yeah.
green, and it is really pretty. I've just never grown it before. So,
Let's see. Lady Diane, how's it going? I posted a short on Chihuly at the gardens, but the lilies aren't super big yet.
oh, I love that garden so much. So that's Missouri Botanical
Mm-hmm.
Gardens. And oh my God, it's so awesome. They have the best lotuses. They have the Victoria water lily, that one that has the huge, huge pads and the huge flowers. They have a huge collection of water lilies. It's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, they probably don't have too much going yet. Creeping Jenny, you can is a great pond plant. You can find that at any garden center,
Yeah.
and it won't necessarily even be with the pond plants. It'll be like by the
Mm-hmm.
annuals. It'll be by the petunias and stuff.
Cool.
It's a good plant. So, um,
Water Sprite. Let's
I
see.
wouldn't put
Was
water sprite in my pond, but or
I
something.
I'm okay. I'm done with Water Sprite. It had its run. It exploded. I made actually some good money selling it to people, and
And now
then
you're done.
and I got rid of it. Yay!
I just don't put plants floating in my pond. Yeah. So, mosaic plant Ludwigia setioides, you could try one of those. You would want to lower than those pockets. You would want to
That's funny.
put it in
Would
a
it?
basket and elevate it on like a brick or something, or
Gotcha.
like on a laundry basket, or you could elevate it on a milk crate, or you could elevate it on another pond basket. I do that sometimes.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, and then just
yeah, that's a
well,
fun plant though. I mean, and
you
I'm not
want it.
growing that one.
You say put it in a basket, not a pot.
I think I put it in a basket. Yeah,
Okay.
we put it in a
And
basket of
with
gravel.
gravel and
Yeah,
root
and let it
tabs.
root. Yeah, I think I would do that.
Okay.
It just depends if it needs more nutrition or not.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just pot it like you would a water lily, but you would want it a little bit higher than that, I think. So taro blue Hawaii, that's another one of those alocasias. See what your garden center has.
It's pretty.
Yeah, oh, there's lots of them. Like I said, some of them get really big. They're very fun. Alocasias and colocasias. They're elephant ears. They're very, very fun. And I'm sure your garden center will have them. They won't necessarily be with the pond plants, but any alocasia or colocasia will work.
Okay.
So
What is
these will
barley extract used for?
pond that's pond snake oil. There are
Oh,
people who think that barley extract will get rid of your algae. That's pond snake oil.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figure my water is going to be green
Well,
until I
it
raise some
won't.
fry in there or something.
Well, it won't. I mean, like as soon as you get enough water lily cover and
Mhm.
and plants growing, it's got to balance out like anything in this world. So
Sure.
it'll clear
Okay.
up.
Page 4, Taro Mojito.
Yeah, so that's another one of those elephant ears. Those are really fun. That's the flower of pickerel rush. It's a fun plant. I
This
really,
one's
really
called
like it.
blue. So like wait, the other one was like
Well,
maybe
no,
more
that's
purple.
they're all blue purple unless they're white. I think there's also a pink cultivar. I've never seen that one locally. I've only planted the purple one. It's
Okay.
like a bluey purple. It's a nice plant though.
All
Most
right.
of them are
So
the blue purple.
got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
It's a nice plant. Ponditaria cordifolia. Water hyacinth is not something you should grow because it's not native to Louisiana. And like if some animal carries it off, I mean, you guys have enough problems with that.
Okay.
So,
I got red root floaters already. I
you
even have
know,
a few sitting in the
don't,
pond.
yeah, dwarf red parrot, that's a plant that should be outlawed in the United States. Milfoil is choking up our waterways so bad all over this country, not just down south. It is
Here
up
we
north.
go. Hornwort. Hornwort.
I mean, you could grow hornwort, but I don't know
I'm
why you
good.
bother.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Gina said, I thought barley was for starting your bacterial culture when you start a pond.
I mean, it's pond snake oil. People think it clears their algae, you
Well,
know.
here's a name I have not heard in a long, long
Well,
time.
hello, Guppy Guru.
Sup, Peter?
Good to see you.
And let's see, it's the last page. Rapashi, super gold, because goldfish pond.
I
Makes sense.
mean, I am not making rapashi for the goldfish. They have a job to do, and that is to eat mosquito larvae. They don't
Yeah.
get rapashi. They need to just deal. And you know what? They're pretty happy. They have a lot of bugs to eat, and it's
Hmm.
really buggy where you live too. So
It's
your
quite
your
buggy.
your fish have plenty to eat.
Yep.
So I mean, if I lived in a place that wasn't buggy, like a dry climate, but that is not the case. I live in a
Well,
very, very buggy place.
I've had for over a year now, like it's gone through all the seasons, that Gambusia tub that I've not done anything to, and those fish are still alive. So there's apparently
Yeah,
enough food to go around.
I honestly don't feed my ponds. I feed them a little bit in the spring when they're coming out of torpor, like if we have a hot day and there's not enough bugs yet. But there's so many bugs for them to eat. So,
So
and,
this is a
and they
pretty
they're very
good
well fed. So,
it's a pretty good assortment. Maybe I get a couple of different taro plants or
those
something,
are
and
really fun. I love alocasias and colocasias. They are super fun. Cannas are
and
very beautiful. I'm sure your garden center will have some, and they will survive year round for you. They do not for
and a canna that would still just go in the pocket, or would I need to
you
put
could do
that
it in
on?
the pocket. I actually plant mine like I do a water lily, and I elevated it up the same level as the water. And I do that because I fertilize them like crazy because I want them to bloom and bloom and bloom. And they'll bloom all season long if you do that. So I plant mine like I do a water lily, but they have to be higher up. Like they're
Gotcha.
marginal. And
Yeah.
you guys have those just growing in your ditches all over because I saw just millions of them there. They are not native to Louisiana, but they're naturalized. They're in every ditch.
I need to pay more attention to the ditches like Brookley does.
Take Brookley out with you. She can show you where the cannas are because you have millions of them. If you see red flowers or yellow flowers when you're driving along, they're probably cannas.
So let's just start walking the ditches. I mean, our neighborhood has all kinds of stuff growing in ditches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Brooklyn can identify a canna for
Yeah,
you. They're very, and they get really tall. They get probably like 4 feet tall.
cool.
They're a
So
nice plant.
you can see faintly where the pot is for the pink beauty lily. So you think elevating it like to that level?
I would elevate it to just give it a boost. Put it on that laundry basket or put it
Hmm.
on a brick, uh, put it on a pond basket just to get it elevated. And that'll help it. Especially with all that green water, not a lot of light is penetrating. But you can also
Yeah.
like lift it up and look at it and like you can
Hmm.
unbury it just a tiny bit to see if there are some leaflets that are trying to get out. I mean, but if it's gone like mushy, it's a dud. So
Okay.
it should be okay. So, but
Uh,
yours is doing good, and my guess is you'll probably get flowers in I don't know, maybe 3 weeks, maybe two.
Once I
I
see
mean,
a flower, is that when I should start adding root tabs? A
have
couple
you
of
fertilized it yet?
I put the 4 root tabs in the initial planting, which I think it's been 3 weeks
Oh well, it's
ish.
fine for now. I mean,
I think you said like after your instructions say after a month to
yeah,
start
about a month, but like
adding every couple of weeks.
the purpose of fertilizer is to feed growing plants, and right now
Hmm.
there's not a lot of mass there.
Yeah,
But like at a certain point, like you're gonna have like tons of pads, tons of flowers. It's gonna be hungry.
gotcha.
So I don't know. I would probably wait like a couple weeks before I fed it. Yeah, and then they're heavy. They're heavy feeders. So water lilies
Also,
are very heavy feeders.
check it out. I cut the zip ties. Look at me.
Wow, look at you.
Well, I lowered them just a little bit
Yeah,
with the
that's
zip ties
good
I
because it
had,
for
and
aesthetic reasons, it's nice a little more level with. Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
And I think Jenna posted a link to these. I bought 2 of them.
So Lady Diane says her water hyacinth bloomed already today. Sometimes they do bloom really early. None of mine have yet, but I'm a little farther north than you. Last year I did have blooms really early in the year though. So
Cool.
that's really cool. It's a very pretty plant, but very not legal where Steven lives.
We
Yeah.
must annoy Mike, said Myrtle.
So Guppy Guru says we just redid our whole yard to native Utah plants, and we have so much more animal life around our pond. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Awesome. Very cool.
Let's see.
Yeah. So yeah, you have a lot of good options, but you should go to a garden center and see
Yeah.
what you find. And when you're there, if you can just call me. I know
Oh,
you
I
don't
will.
like to call people on the
I
phone.
well, if
You
I
can just
if
call
I
me.
need if I need the immediate help, then I will for sure call you, and
Yeah.
I'll probably just FaceTime you walk around the
Yeah.
garden center or something. Although I don't know what Brooklyn's plans are. She'll probably want to come with us as well. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I'm cool with going to the garden center other versus ordering it just to save on shipping and also have instant gratification.
Well, I think it's just really nice to support a local garden center. And
Mm,
the plants are even the best online seller will not give you as good of quality as a local because they don't get beat up in shipping.
right. Certain
So,
things don't ship well.
it's always good to get what you can. Different Some garden centers have no pond plants, but every garden center has things that can go in a pond, even Lowe's, even Home Depot, because there are things that are in the sections with the annuals and the perennials that can have wet feed.
Cool.
So you have to know you have to know what to look for. So, and Matt, I'll go shopping with you too. I'll help you pick stuff.
Well, Matt, you just saw what to order. just copy me, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean those are all good plants.
They
If you
just
want stuff though that comes back, Matt, I would not get cannas because they won't come back. If you don't care if they come back or not, or you're willing to like uproot them and put them in your basement for the winter, you could do that. I mean, like, I just grow them as annuals. My dad digs up all his cannas every year, thousands of them, and puts them in his basement.
so Matt says,
Yeah.
except you don't have dirt. I have dirt. Well, I have dirt mixed in with the lily substrate,
Yeah.
and
We'll
yeah,
make
he
it work.
doesn't want to waste his money planting annuals. Neither do
Yeah.
I.
So there's many other options though that will come back that you can do instead. So like that pickerel rush is a good choice.
Cool.
Yeah. And that one, yeah. But for Steven, cannas just grow year round there. So
I like that.
yeah. And I do stuff that comes back and I do stuff that doesn't come back. Oh, so terrestrial plants. Matt, just when you go shopping at the garden center, just FaceTime me and we'll do a shopping trip together and I'll tell you what to buy.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll just tell you what to buy. Yeah, and you should get stuff that's hardy. And I know the stuff that grows in Iowa. I know the stuff that's easy too.
So
Would
tell me, I would like to know.
amaranthi be a good choice for CP in the south? Well, probably not for in the pond. I
Making me
mean, I
Google
mean,
what
I
the
don't know if
hell
that
that
can take
is.
wet feet or I don't know if amaranths can take wet feet or not. There are lots of amaranths. I mean, there's tons of them. I don't know if they can take. I mean, I've never tried them for wet feet. A lot of things can have wet feet, but I don't know for certain. So Lady Diane says she keeps her cannas. Yeah, you can dig up your cannas and put them in your basement every year. If you're in the north, then you have to just I mean, my dad literally digs up and replants thousands of cannas every year in Iowa because you can grow cannas in your yard too. I mean, you'll see that if you know what a canna looks like, you'll see them all over town, no matter where in the United States you live. They're a very common plant. They'll grow them in planters.
Would
Yeah,
that be
they're
something I could easily just like plant surrounding the pond just to like hide the tub?
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you want to have, and I love this idea. I'm all for you doing more gardening, Stephen. Wait,
Yeah,
oh,
whatever
sorry,
gets me
my
outside, right? Just
I'm
be out
so I'm
in the
so into
sun,
you going
or
outside. I'm so proud of you.
I
You're gonna
got
have to
lots
do
of
this.
lights outside too. I don't have to go out in the sun necessarily.
I know, but you're gonna want to do it some because
Maybe.
mosquitoes come out at night,
Yeah, they do.
and that sucks. That's why, like, I would love to have. We were having dinner by my pond on Friday night, and it was like 8 o'clock, so it was a late dinner, but it's still sunny here at 8 o'clock. I got eaten alive, so I can't enjoy evening by my pond. There's just too many mosquitoes.
Mm.
So, and I love how Myrtle said that Kelly's real reason for pushing bonds on everyone, finding an excuse to call or FaceTime people while they buy plants. It is pretty much all I've ever wanted. So, Lady Diane, I would give you a phone call anytime. We have talked on the phone, and
Diane, drop your number in chat and
I'll
just see
call
where that
you
goes.
to see who'll call you. We could totally, I will talk to you on the phone, especially while you shop for plants. I mean, it's a service I provide. Oh, Matt says that Fat Kitty's brother Donnie is laying next to him begging me to pet him. You
Oh,
better just pet him, Matt. So, and Myrtle says there were a few cannas at the entrance farm middle school here. Always loved watching them flower. Yeah, they're very common garden plants. They're grown either as annuals, where Stephen lives, they're perennials. They're super common. Once you know what they look like, you'll see them everywhere. And they're very pretty. They bloom a lot. Yeah.
and yeah, he was a weird kid in school. We were all weird kids in school.
Annette says, Kelly, you like cream cheese, right? Where the hell did that come from? I mean, I do like cream cheese. So, and my dog also likes cream cheese because I've had to give her a pill lately and I give it to her in cream cheese. She loves it.
And
Loves it.
yeah, well, it's because she knows that I don't like cream cheese. It's one of my things.
Oh, you don't
Can't
like
stand
cream
it.
cheese?
Can't stand it.
We all have
Cannot
our
stand it.
thing. I mean, I have things I don't like, but no. My dog loves it. It's so good.
Good advice, Terry. Just find some old 100% DEET. You'll die young and pretty, but you'll never get bit again. I'm telling you, it
It
is
does
the
work.
one proven effective thing.
Yeah, it does work. I mean, I don't want to kill all the bees around my pond though, and
Yeah.
yeah. I just ordered this. They're called thermocells. It's like a diffuser of bug repellent that you like put on the table. You turn it on like 10 minutes before you're out there.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Does that have like the citronella stuff or
I don't know. It's a chemical. It's chemical warfare. So, but I'm so bit up. My poor legs and my arms are just so bit up. So Lady Diane uses mosquito incense 12 feet apart, and I never get bit. Maybe I should try that. It's like citronella incense. I should try that because I'm just getting bit up so bad.
I feel like my blood is just so tempting for the mosquitoes. They just power through whatever I put on.
So I am too. It's tough. So I don't like cream cheese on pickles. I am not. I mean, I'll eat a pickle on a hamburger, but I'm not like pickle crazy. You know, like if I get pickles with a sandwich, I always give them away because I mean, it's not that I
I will
hate
take the
pickles.
pickles.
So there's always someone at the table who wants the pickle. Like
Yep.
I always give the pickle to Jake and he'll always eat it. But there's always someone at any table who's crazy for pickles, so I always give them away. But if I have, if I have a pickle like on a burger, I mean, I like that. That's fine. So Jenna, you also have no-see-ums. Ugh. Yeah, it's really buggy down there. It's really buggy.
Yeah. Don't ever
Okay.
shine a light in the backyard. And yeah, because you will see the no-see-ums whenever you shine a light. There's a
Ugh.
cloud.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's citronella. Well, I'm gonna try it because I'm getting eaten alive, and it's not fun because I would like to be able to, have a little picnic table out there. I would like to be able to eat by my pond.
No, Scotty. Always inject the maximum amount of CO2 that won't
Always the
kill your
maximum.
fish.
Always the maximum without killing your fish. That's what you want. Set it, forget it until it runs out. Then you have to set it up again. That's just the way that goes. But yeah, lower your lights, stay the course with your fertilizer, stay the course with your CO2, stay the course with your maintenance. A lot of algae is just staying the course.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like they're like, oh, I changed this and I changed this and I changed this and I changed this. And
If you change too much, you don't know what it was that caused the problem or
well,
what it was that fixed the problem.
yeah. And also, I mean, plants and fish like consistency. So
Yeah.
don't change
Me
too much
too.
at once. They like consistent maintenance. They like consistent fertilization. Yeah. So we don't have no CMs up here, just mosquitoes. And I mean, they're bad enough, but it has been very dry here. We haven't had rain in 2 weeks. It's so dry. Jake's farm hasn't had any rain in 2 weeks. It's not good. It's uncharacteristically dry. So, and we're not going to have any rain all week. Yeah, Beck says, yep, healthy plants will outcompete Scotty. Just focus on healthy plants and staying consistent and keeping things clean. Yep, that's the secret. I mean, if you had an old tank that had an algae break, I would tell you to clean your filter. But with a newer setup, I would tell you to dim your lights a little bit and consistent fertilizer, consistent water changes, doing everything you can to make those plants happy. Plant some of them in the substrate instead of pots.
Mm.
Those plants aren't as happy.
Howdy, Grant. Okay, I thought Myrtle was broken, but no,
Yeah.
Tommy's broken.
Oh dear.
Myrtle just answering Tommy, or yeah,
Yeah.
just
And
responding to
Lady
Tommy
Diane
twice.
points out that mosquito dunks are made of BT, and I do use mosquito dunks. So BT is Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacteria. It's also used in organic gardening, so it's a safe remedy. What it does, it's a bacteria that interferes with the larval life cycle of insects. So mosquitoes, they can't metamorphose into an adult.
But do you think if you
I
have a
put them in
stocked
every pond.
pond with fish that even any of those would even make it out of the pond in the first
I
place?
put I use them anyways because
Mm.
I just don't want to be part of the problem. But like right now, I have ponds that
Amen,
listen to
Bex.
her.
Get them
Listen
out
to
of the
Bex.
frickin' pot.
Yeah. But I use them in every pond. They're very cheap. I mean, they work. And I don't have any fish in some of my ponds yet. So, but we have mosquitoes all over the neighborhood. They're not just necessarily coming from me. Like, and my yard is only 15 feet by 15 feet. Like, they could be coming from someone else's yard. So I can only do so much. Yeah. And Tommy says it's a spore. Yes, it's a bacteria. It's Bacillus thuringiensis. They're called mosquito dunks or mosquito bits. You can get them on Amazon. You can buy them at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they do work. Just follow the package directions. So,
So Scotty says that when I move, I will have no pots. Now, look, if you if you lower your lights and you keep getting algae and your plants are like not doing so well because of the low light, we already told you you are limiting your plant growth by
I mean, I
having them in
guess when you
pots.
move, you can have a tank that looks good too. So
Yeah,
there's that. There you go.
that's a good
That's
goal to
that.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. For every minute those plants stay in pots, Scotty, a killing north to dust. I'll make
I'll
sure.
make sure of it.
Whew, man. So Tommy says if you have a large pond, you can buy BT in the liquid form and mix it yourself. Yeah, if you have but for the ponds that we have, you can't even use a whole mosquito dunk. You have to break them in half. So
Oh, really? Even for like a
yeah,
150 gallon?
yeah,
Yeah.
because our ponds aren't that big. So, but does work. I do recommend using them. Um, yeah, it's also they're good to keep on hand because if you need an organic or I mean just effective straight up remedy if you have like a tree on your property that gets like affected with bagworms or something like that, you can make a tea out of them and spray it with it, and it's good for that. Though usually if your tree is badly affected with bagworms, it's too
How do
cold.
you feel about bats?
I am pro bat. We have a million bats in our neighborhood because we are by the neighborhood or by the river, and I mean I wish they'd do more, but we still have a ton of mosquitoes. So I mean, every
I
night I see bats coming out.
Bats are
There's
cute.
tons of bats.
I don't like the idea of them like flying overhead at night. You can sort of like hear them in the trees and stuff at night.
Yeah, I mean, we have little tiny bats. We had a bat in the house once. Oh my god, Fat Kitty went crazy. Oh my god! But we did catch the bat finally, and we put it in a cardboard box, and we walked it down to the park by the river, and we let it go. So, but Fat Kitty I've never seen him more heightened. He was very excited.
Yep, our fat kitty at home was very excited over the house wren that got inside, but
Oh, so
she's
exciting.
she's not gonna catch. She's just kind of like sort of sauntering over back and forth across the room while the birds flying. Like she has no chance.
That kitty is actually a really good murderer. He's a really really good murderer.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah. So Tommy says that Bonide makes or Bonide, I can't remember how they pronounce it. It's a company that makes plant stuff. They make a liquid form you can buy online. Yeah, but if you have a smaller pond, which if you have tub ponds, they are small.
Mm.
Um, just the dunks or the bits are good enough, and they have them on Amazon. They also have them at Lowe's. I've even seen them at the grocery store before.
Cool.
So Myrtle says, "Is Fat Katie available for hire?" I mean, I would love it if Fat Katie got a damn job. That would be great. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah,
Yeah, bats sound like butterflies. It's just a bigger whooshing sound,
it
and you
is.
can
Our bats
tell.
are so tiny, though. Our bats are really little. We don't have big bats here. They're small. So, yeah. But, I mean, clearly they are not getting rid of the mosquitoes. So I have to do something else. It's not good. So Xanadu says he has a lung infection, histoplasmosis, that comes from bat dung from when you were cleaning out a barn. Yikes!
Wait, are you
Yeah,
saying
that's.
present tense, like you have it, like it's never gonna
I
go
know
away?
you. I know you have been ill, and you had a spot on your lung. So is that what they diagnosed
Oof.
it with? Yikes! Yeah. So there are a lot of vector-borne diseases from animals. So, for instance, there is a parasite you can get from sweeping up raccoon dung. Um, there's hantavirus from rats and mice. So it's very important if you're cleaning up a dusty old barn or something like that to put on an N95 mask.
Mm.
So, you know, the kind we all wore for COVID, like put one of those on just to keep
Didn't COVID
yourself
come from
healthy.
a bat?
It
Been
didn't come from a
demonetized.
bat. Actually, the vector for that is something called a raccoon dog. They've
Huh.
shown. Yeah, a
At
raccoon
least it's not
dog.
cancer, says Xanadu. Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah. But still, that's really not fun. I hope you feel better. But yeah, at least it's not cancer. Whew. So my roommate in college, she was from California and she had something called valley fever, which was it's a fungal disease. She was from like the Central Valley of California, farm girl. Oh my
mm,
god, she got so sick. She was this like apple cheeked 21-year-old girl, you know, she should be healthy as can be. She dropped like 25 pounds. She was in the hospital for 2 months. They had to amputate a lobe of her lung.
oh,
They were giving her a diflucan every single day, and so diflucan is a really potent antifungal. So, for instance, that's the one where you take one pill and it knocks out a whole yeast infection. Well,
mm,
they had to give her one every single day. She was on
yikes.
IV drip antibiotics. I mean, oh my god, she was so sick. They had to open her up and debride her lungs, which is where they just scrubbed them, scrub her lungs, and they took out a whole lobe of it. She did recover though, but damn. So
That's rough.
diseases, yeah, they're rough. It's
J
rough.
Rock says, I know nothing. I leave the knowing of things to you smart type people. I hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah. Well, just keep in mind if you're cleaning out something that has wild animal poop, just make sure you put on an N95 mask. Wasn't Valley Fever a Nick Cage movie? I don't know. Was it? He
I
has
don't
made a
know.
lot of movies,
He
many of
sure
them
has.
bad. Many of them bad.
He says yes to everything.
He does, doesn't he? I mean, like he's an Academy Award winner and capable of really great acting and also like really bad acting. Just the whole range. I've heard he's really bad with money.
I
And
heard
so
that too.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Sarah says they can only debride lungs a couple times. I'm hoping mine never get debrided personally. That's
Yeah,
a
that doesn't
goal of
sound
mine. I mean, she
pleasant.
was so sick. And like this, we're talking a 21-year-old girl. Like she should have been just the picture of health.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, Geek says knowing things is highly overrated. Usually ends up with chores and
The
responsibilities.
worst. The
Yeah,
worst.
knowing things and also like going above and beyond, working too hard.
Being competent at your job, it just means you have to
Mm-mm.
do other people's jobs too.
Yeah,
Like
and
right now
never
I'm
show
doing
competence
yeah, right now
outside
I
of
have
your
to do
job.
marketing's job and I have to do
Ugh.
regulatory affairs job and I have to do R&D's job because none of them know anything.
Mm.
Yeah. Jenna says, so I can't give all of my responsibilities to Geek. I think you should, Jenna. I think
He
you
just, I
should.
mean, you can. He just may not
He
do
may
them.
not do them. I mean, but you can do it.
And I think the consequences will still be on you.
Oh, Myrtle responding to messages from strangers on the internet. Guys, don't
Uh,
take advantage of Myrtle.
Myrtle is a very nice, polite person. So, but
Don't
also
take
his
advantage of him.
time is very valuable.
It's right because he has songs to compose and he has algae to scrub like we all do.
He's got an
And
internship, full-time student.
right. So let's, don't take
Yeah,
advantage of Myrtle. Let's just leave it at that.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't, you know what? You can use the Google.
The Google.
Try the Google. Try it first. I mean, that's what I used to
Sign
tell
up
my kids.
for
Use the
Bard. That's like the
Google.
Google AI chat. It's even smarter supposedly, unless it makes something up. Which then you have to go and Google and verify whether it made that thing up. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Gina says, I feel you, Kelly. I'm store manager, inventory, HR, website designer, IT, online customer service. It's because you're competent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
no one asked
Myrtle
me for
is too nice
advice.
and polite of a person.
Yeah.
People shouldn't try to take advantage of him. Yeah. Be nice to Myrtle. Be nice.
And now everyone's learning how polite he is, and they're just gonna like inundate him with phone calls and messages.
Well, he's not going to answer the phone, people. I'm here to tell you that. Even if I were to call, Myrtle's not going to answer.
Well, I was telling him the other day, like I would expect that most people, if I called them, even if they're not phone people, they would answer my call because they would
I would
know that
I'd be
it's an
like, oh
emergency.
God.
Like
I
I
did
had to
call
call.
Steven once. I did call you once because it was an emergency.
When did you call me?
I had that filter, like I had water spewing on the floor and in the fall.
And did I answer?
You did.
Okay, good.
It was an emergency.
Yeah. Like I'll
I
I'll
also I also
answer.
called Jake at work, which I never call Jake at work unless it's like, you know, an emergency. He also answered, so
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, if y'all called me, I would answer, and then
Yeah.
just
I mean, like yeah.
don't cry wolf because
Well,
I
I
won't
don't
answer.
call people like during work hours, like if
Right.
they're at their job and stuff. Like I don't call them. I mean, I've pocket dialed Jake at work before. That's different. That's different.
Jay will be calling Gina for IT advice. You
I
can call
mean,
Myrtle for IT advice too.
Myrtle, yeah, but try Googling it first.
Yeah.
Cause poor Myrtle. Yeah. I can't give you any IT advice. So don't call me. And Jay, you're an IT guy. You don't need IT advice. If you need IT advice, it's above my pay. It's above our pay grade. So
Speaking of Jay, I hope everyone caught that focus on.
I
Uh,
caught the first half of it, but I'm gonna watch the second half. It was really cool.
mm-hmm.
I loved seeing you up on a stream, and then we saw you up on Fox Ann's stream a while ago. That was so
Yeah, sure did.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool. It's nice getting to know you
And then
because we know your artwork. It's so beautiful.
Cora was on Skipper's stream
Oh,
yesterday.
well, I mean, yesterday I was making dinner for Jake, so I never catch Skipper's stream.
What did
So
y'all eat by the pond last night?
we did. I made asparagus risotto. It was pretty good.
Nice.
So
I
yeah, it
like a
was
good
good.
risotto.
I like risotto too. It's good dinner.
Give me any kind of starch. I'm happy.
I like starches too. They're delicious. So I also like one bowl dinners, because like if you have like a piece of chicken and a side, like it's a lot of pans and dishes. But if you make like a
Mm,
pasta, a risotto, or a stir fry, it's less dishes. It's less dishes.
nice.
So Scotty says his lights just turned on. My dwarf aquarium lily has grown big time. That's what they do.
Rotala is red again. What kind of Rotala are we talking
Oh,
about?
so many Rotala, rip it out and compost it. I
Is that a
composted all my
scientific name?
Rotala. I just ripped them out. I couldn't take it anymore. It's done.
Rotala compostus?
Yes, Rotala compostus. Yes, that's right. Yeah, F cancer indeed. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We're glad. We're glad it wasn't that.
Main
Yeah,
dish plus a side salad. See, that works because you're just using another bowl, and that's all.
that's not too bad, but I guess I would rather eat a stir fry because then you have like all your veg and your meats or proteins all in one.
You don't get quite the same texture variety as if you
I don't
have a nice
really,
green salad on the side.
no, I don't eat a lot of salads. I prefer cooked vegetables. I eat
Really,
some. I mean, I eat some salads, obviously, but
I
I
like
kind of
super
prefer,
elaborate salads.
those are fun. A dinner salad is fun,
Hmm.
especially in the summer. In general, I prefer cooked vegetables, I would say.
Okay, so Scotty's saying, "Oh, it's Ludwigia rotundifolia." You heard of that one, right?
Sure.
That's a rotala, Scotty, unless you got,
Yeah,
yeah, something
that's
mixed up
such a
there.
super compostable plant. I hate
I have
rotella.
lots of it,
Yeah, anyone who has it
but
has lots of it. It's
yeah,
what
well, people like it.
happens.
People request it on the plant form, and I grow it because it grows easily, and there's like it's one of those I don't really even have to bother with it in CO2. I just kind of put it in various spots, let it.
Mm.
But I think I'm going to. My favorite super fast growing plant right now is it's a hygrophila, the Augustifolia,
Okay,
because
because it
the
was the sunset high grow.
well, that one's fun for if you like set up a new tank and you just want to like
You
pile
just
some
need,
plants in there
yeah,
and
if you
get it
just need
started.
plant mass,
Hmm.
if you have a tank full of Mumbuna cichlids and you need to like outcompete them, it's a
Yeah,
good plant for that.
but the Augustifolia actually it looks nice. It doesn't like grow all the way across the tank where it feels like, and it's a good it's a good background cover plant that grows fast. Like the leaves are super long,
Yeah,
and then just you can make something look like a jungle really quick.
I haven't grown that plant in years. I don't even remember the last time I grew it.
Myrtle
I
sent me a couple of sprigs of it, and now I've got like bunches of it in
Yeah,
several different tanks.
that's not a surprise. Yeah, I it's not for me. I don't want to deal with stems that grow that fast. That's too much.
Yeah,
It's
that one's
it's
not so
faster than
bad.
Rotala.
Not so bad to trim. The Rotala kind of starts to aggravate me after some time,
I mean, a
especially if I
tank
leave
full
it.
of beautifully trimmed Rotalas is beautiful. I mean, there's a reason aquascapers love them. They are beautiful. There are things you can do with Rotalas that there's just no other plant that's quite like them. That said,
They, like most
too
stem
much
plants,
work.
they are beautiful, especially Rotala, they are beautiful for about a week. Like
Yeah.
when you finish trimming them, not so much. Give it like a week or so, let the shoots come back up, and then it looks
Hmm.
nice at the height that you want it for that
Yeah.
amount of time, and then it's back to being
Hmm.
invasive.
Well, yeah, I mean, people who keep rotalas and keep them nice, if you see a beautiful tank of them on the internet, just know that they are trimming them and replanting them every single week. Every
Yep,
single week.
takes work.
Every single week. And a lot of them only have one tank, and if you want to do that, that's awesome and it's beautiful and I will love your pictures. But that's a little much for me.
I need like 4 plant farms for one Dutch scape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's his name? The famous aquascaper who's won
Oliver
all
Knott?
those competitions.
Is his name Oliver Knott? Is that what you're talking about?
No, 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 no,
Um,
no. Much better aquascaper than Oliver Knott. He's on.
oh,
There's a Green Aqua like 2 hour special with him. Anyway,
okay.
help me out, Brookley. Anyways, he's from Indonesia and he has 4 tanks, or no, 6 tanks. Two
One of
tanks are
them,
like competition scapes at different phases in their development. You know, he staggers them. And then the other 4 are farms. So he has all the plants he needs.
absolutely.
And that's all he has. Not George Farmer. George Farmer has not won any competitions. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
this is like Josh Sims. Josh
Oh,
Sims.
okay. I know that
And
name.
he, yeah, and he has won the ADA competition many times. Thank you, Jay. See, you read my mind. You knew who I was talking about. Yeah.
I knew
So
Jay or Myrtle or Brookley, one of the.
has 6 tanks. 6 tanks, 2 aquascapes staggered, like a couple months apart or a few months apart or whatever. And then 4 farms. 4 farms. So yeah, it's it's a different lifestyle. So you're not gonna have a fish room because it's too much doing all that trimming, and it's a different hobby. It's a different hobby. Plus
I'm
he
trying to
switches out
do.
his fish all the time.
Yeah. I don't like to do that. I don't like to do this fish switcheroo. I'll do
No,
the
I
plant
don't either.
switcheroo all day, every day, but I want my fish to stay in a consistent
Yeah, well, I
environment.
mean, especially if you keep rainbows, like you don't want to switch out your rainbows. I mean,
No.
God, they just start getting looking good after 2 years. It's like they're a
Also, when you chase
commitment
them
fish.
down with a net, they don't like that, and they can hurt
No,
themselves.
nobody wants to be chased by a net.
Nope.
Nobody wants it.
Bad things happen.
That's right. I mean, her children don't want it. The
No.
cats don't want it. Maybe they should listen to her. That's right. So,
Thank you,
yeah.
Vibes, for the super chat.
Well,
Awesome
thank
live stream, y'all.
you. It was so much fun streaming with him. I
Oh
had such
yeah.
a good time. Yeah, that
If
was really nice.
if y'all missed Kelly, that was let's see,
Last
last
Tuesday.
last Tuesday.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was so nice to, and there were different people in his stream. I didn't know everyone, so that was a lot of fun. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and we were with Michael, such a nice guy. I had a great time. It was so nice to invite me. So, and his ponds are beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're much further along than mine because, it's warmer down there by a lot. So he's,
Mm-hmm.
a couple months ahead of me. So that's okay. I have a short season here.
Jay says,
A-net or unnet, both.
"Yep,
Both. You don't want either one of those.
no, indeed."
Oh, but Annette says Scotty loves to be chased by me. Well then. I mean,
There are certain stem plants that I am starting to get bored of
yeah,
and don't really want to mess with anymore.
yeah.
But also, I tried in the living room tank. I tried messing around with hair grass, and I'm done with hair grass.
I love it. It's a really easy foreground. Get the Eleocharis acicularis mini in the Tropica tissue cultures.
I've tried the mini one
Ooh.
time, and it melted on me. The I don't know what I have.
Did
It's
you
it's
get it
tall.
from Tropica?
No, I don't think so.
You got to get the Tropica tissue cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
KG,
that's the secret.
KG, keepfishkeeping.com. I know they have sold them at one
Yeah,
point.
they sometimes have it. And thank you, Vibes. It was very nice to be on. So,
I don't know. I get algae. I know Brookley is also struggling with algae all up in her hair grass. Mine is also had the same
hmm,
thing going on. And also I got some Christmas moss in that tank at some point, and the Christmas moss is like, I'm gonna take
I
over the
just
hair
comb it
grass.
out. I just comb it out because this
I need
tank
to do that.
has some pest moss in it. All moss is pest moss. I've never intentionally bought moss, at least in any of these tanks. I have at other times in my life had moss, but not in any of these tanks. And yeah, all moss is pest moss. I do not like moss. I am
I like
anti.
moss, but only in certain circumstances. Usually, whenever I like a moss and want it to do something in a certain place, it doesn't.
I also have Pestis Wassertang.
Oh, I
I
got
have
that. That's
no
for
clue where
life.
that came from.
Did I
I
send you
must have
plants?
probably
It
got it
it
from you.
I yeah, I've got it everywhere because it's good for shrimp breeding and cory breeding, and so I
It's good for
posted that
getting
everywhere.
tangled in your plants and attracting algae is what it's for.
And
But I just
if
comb
you
it out. I just comb it out.
if you got duckweed, I
Duckweed.
sent you
I have
that too.
I have never been able to propagate duckweed anywhere, not even outside. I'm not good at it. Vibe says, does Boost need fertilizer and CO2? Well, it needs fertilizer and it will do better with CO2.
Yeah,
Um,
without CO2, it will at best do basically nothing. Like
yeah,
you might one day, a year and a half later, look at it and be like, "Oh, it's a little bigger than it was when I got it." But
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
CO2 helps a
it
lot.
for sure needs some fertilizer. It doesn't need much because it is very, very slow growing. So if you have only boost in a tank, you don't need much. So, and
Bex thanks
Myrtle
me
says,
every day. She's so grateful for the duckweed that I sent her because it just keeps replicating itself, and it's the best plant she's ever had.
"Oh, I'm sorry,
It's
Beth."
been very successful for her, and I'm very proud of her for cultivating duckweed.
I mean, send it all to Annette. She loves it for her goldfish. Yeah, I I've never really had it propagate in any tank I've ever kept. Probably because I always have spray bars, and my ponds I also always have circulation. In the big pond, I have goldfish, of course, but even in all the others, I always have some circulation. I always disturbing the surface of the water. I think that helps. Maybe I just suck at duckweed. I don't know. So Lady Diane says I got a new tank from the Mazai Fishy Festival. Oh my. Guy traded me guppies for escape. It has a little
Ooh,
dwarf hair grasses. I'm scared. You can do it, Lady Diane. I think it needs CO2 personally.
I
Your
think their
water is
water is
soft.
pretty.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
Your water is pretty soft there, so maybe you can get away with it.
I mean,
But I think
CO2
it's
will help it grow faster, but it'll be it'll still look nice without CO2. It just
yeah, I honestly think it's of the foregrounds. I think it's one of my favorites. I think it's really pretty trouble free. It doesn't take much. It doesn't need much trimming at all. I trim it every like I don't know, couple months, and it's easy to trim. I just get a little haircut. You don't have to replant anything. Yeah. Oh, Gina, you have hard water there, but Gary
yep.
Lang, where he's at, he has super soft water.
Maybe it,
So it must vary depending
hmm,
on what town you're in.
it could be. I mean, it's like that in Louisiana because, like I said, if I travel 30 minutes down the road to my parents' house,
Right.
they've got basically RO out of the
Yeah.
tap.
And our water is medium here. Oh, it's a 3.5 gallon tank. It's really tiny, no CO2.
Hey, I got CO2 going in my 3-gallon bowl
Well,
with
yeah,
distilled
because like
water.
you just put the little splitters on, like the with the manifold, and then you can
Uh-huh.
run CO2 from another to another tank.
That's what I'm doing because it's like
Yeah, and you
it's a
can do
bubble every
the
5 seconds
yeah,
or something like that.
you can do the little paintball systems too, like Myrtle says. But if you don't want to do CO2, if your water is naturally soft, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just do water changes with some remineralized distilled water that you buy from the grocery store. It's so tiny.
Yep,
So,
that's what I've been
plants
doing.
question. Okay, kabamba. Where should
Kabamba.
I be trimming it? Right under the leaf section or right above? Or does it make a difference? I would just trim it between at the node, like in the internode, which is between nodes. Just tap right
Yeah.
through, and it'll be just fine. Yeah, that's what I would do.
I wish YouTube would just let mods decide what gets through and not decide that it's just going to filter it out.
Hmm.
She was trying to flip me off, and YouTube is like, no.
And we deserve being flipped off
Yeah,
sometimes. I
exactly.
mean, Steven had it coming. He had it coming. He gave her duckweed. He deserved that.
I have distributed a lot of duckweed in my day.
So Scotty asks, how do you propagate dwarf aquarium lilies? So do you have that in a pot or are you growing that in a tank? Because if you have it in a pot, it has to be in a pretty big damn pot. But what happens is it'll send runners
Yeah.
and those runners will have like little like corms, I guess they'd be called. They're like little
Hmm.
tubers, little round things, and you can replant those. But like I cannot get rid of my tiger lotus. It will be with me for an eternity in this tank. I can we cannot part because I cannot get rid of it. I find them everywhere, even though I got rid of it I think a year ago. So yeah,
It's in a
but
pot in a
if it's in
tank.
a pot, yeah, it's not going
Yeah,
to propagate. It's not enough room.
probably
That's
not.
that. So you're just going to have to deal with having a shitty plant because you have it in a pot. And you're not going to be able to propagate it because you have it in a pot. And your
It's
tank is
got
going to look like crap because it's in a pot. And that's just that.
the kind with slats. I mean, that's better than being, I mean, at least the one that's in the pot has room for the roots to come out if there's substrate outside of the pot that like it can attach to, but
Yeah. I mean, granted, if you don't want your water lily to escape, I guess a pot is a good choice. But here's the thing, that plant wants to get really big. And the water lilies we keep outside in pots, the smallest, tiniest water lily I have, which is Helvula, that variety, which is way smaller than your lily, it's in a pot that big around. Like it's in a small feed pan. My other water lilies are in like 2-gallon feed pans. So your pots are not big enough. So
yeah.
that's that. You can't propagate it
Look,
unless you
I
plant
can
them.
I can show you that sometimes you can grow things in a pot because I just kind of left this alone and forgot about it. This is a
Yeah, I
pot
mean
of
it's
a
a
hellfire.
stem. It's a stem.
Yeah, and also it's
But
got and I have good substrate below it, and the roots have like attached to the substrate, so that pot is like rooted down.
yeah, I mean that can happen too. Like if you have, but that's not a real pot. That's
It's
you
a
know,
little net
that's
net pot, slat
yeah. And the
slot
thing
pot.
is, like if you have like let's say Sagittaria, it can the runners will it'll send runners outside of that, and they'll just run all over your tank. But
Hmm.
if Stephen had a bare bottom tank, it wouldn't be doing
Never.
it wouldn't be doing so. Yeah. So are you ever gonna take that out of there?
Uh, yeah, because I'm gonna be sending a little bit of it out, and I'm gonna plan it. But like I've
Yeah.
been this tank has been out of CO2 for like 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
need to get that taken
So
care of.
Vibe says he puts his water lilies in fabric bags, and I have done that, but I like to use rigid pots better because, like, when you go to take them out, they're very floppy and like they're easy to like spill and they're not very stable and they're also not big enough. So I use those feed pans and I think they work better. That said, I have used the fabric pots before and they do work. I just like the feed pans a lot better. So,
I almost spilled that fabric pot that has
mhm.
Hercules lily in it. I
Yeah, they're just
underestimated how
not.
heavy it was going to be soaked with water
They're
with all
just
the
not stable. And then
substrate.
and the other thing is the fertilizer will leach out of it more, and you want the fertilizer to stay in the pot. Now, not all of it will, but so Lady Diane says nowhere in Missouri is soft water, but I swear I was watching a video of Gary Lang's fish room, and
But
he
are
said
we
it'd
talking
be a
about
pH of
GH or
3.
KH?
I
Are
swear it
they?
was KH of 3.
Because yeah, like
That's pretty soft, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I haven't watched that video in a couple years. Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible I'm wrong, but but regardless, you don't have super soft water. So you have I mean, the hair grass is not going to really grow much without CO2, but you have a couple options. You could put CO2 on it, or you could do water changes with remineralized distilled water, which is very easy on a tiny tank. You can just get grocery store water. Like
yeah.
it's, you could do that. Or you could just see what it does.
Hmm.
If it's already grown in, it's not going to grow more. Maybe it'll be okay. Yeah. So June says my pothos does better with its pot than roots hanging in the tank. Yeah, because it just has a place to root in. Now I have some pothos that's hanging just off the side, and it does okay. But the ones that I have in like one of those apothecary like little pots of leca, they do a little better. So Lady
Yeah.
Diane says he's probably using RO. There's no way because that was his whole fish room, and rainbow fish don't like. I mean, they're fine in softer water, but they would prefer. Well, no, I mean, honestly, they're pretty adaptable. But I swear this was his whole fish room where he was breeding rainbows. He wouldn't use RO water for that because you wouldn't go out of your way to use softer water for rainbows. You would just use what you had in your tap.
Yeah.
So,
I just
but
want to know
maybe
if
I'm
they're
thinking of
GH
something
and
else.
maybe their GH and KH are not equal. Like I know a lot of places
Yeah, that's
GHGH are gonna be
true.
one and the same because it's
But
just
I,
naturally going through
yeah, but maybe
limestone.
I'm thinking of something else, Lady Diane. Maybe I can't remember. But regardless, you have harder water. And
Mm,
so that's what I would do for you. And Gary can just do what Gary needs to do for Gary.
Gary gonna Gary.
He'll be just fine. He'll just be fine breeding a million rainbows. You know, he'll be all right. So,
So
yeah.
I'm also trying a new fertilizer. I forgot to mention.
Oh, good. What brand?
This is Hector's Everything. This is what Luke Wong was talking about on Skipper's stream.
Okay. I was
Um,
not listening to that stream,
so
but
it's a dry fert. It's one of those like all mixed together all in one
hmm.
ferts.
It's
And
dry, and he uses it.
yep. And like
Hmm.
the powders are all consistent. Like it's a consistent
So they must be
grain
milling it.
size. Yeah.
They must have
And
like a ball mill or something where they mill the powder.
but I asked him, I need to go see the if he's got yeah, hectorseverything.com
Yeah, I
because there's
mean, if
no
Luke uses it,
percentages.
it's yeah, and that's not legal in the U.S. Like if you're selling fertilizer, it should be marked as like number dash number dash number for the NPKs. So
I
like
would like to
aquarium
know.
polyps is marked, and like if you buy Miracle Grow, it's marked. If you buy Osmocote, it's marked. Even if you buy like compost, it's marked with the MPK on it. So he should mark his like. So who knows what you're getting? But I mean, if Luke is using it, it's probably okay. I mean, he's pretty good at growing things, but yeah, I would like to know also. And
I'm
also, like,
testing
what does
it.
it do for iron? Do they
Yeah,
say what form of chelator it uses?
nope. So right
Hmm.
now this is a completely blind test in the living room tank, which has
Hmm.
actually been the one that I forget to fertilize. It's my most demanding because
Yeah.
it's got the most CO2 going in there, and I recently got rid of three of those like the big rainbows. I moved the McCullochai into the 90s, so the load in there is literally just like some cories and angelfish and some loaches.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. Well, we'll see what it does. I guess
link to a site. What do you
I'm
got?
probably not going to use it, but I only have 3 tanks, you know. But like Easy Green gets expensive if you have a lot of tanks, and if you because I fertilize really heavy, like I fertilize more than twice as much as the package directions. But look at all the plants I have. Plus, I have all of my immersed plants, my hydroponic walls.
Hmm.
So, you know, I have to fertilize that much. Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. So, we'll see how you like it.
Yep, I just like to try shit.
I mean, if you want to save money, you can do EI dosing with dry ferts, but the N, the P, the K, and the micros are all separate. I've done that before, you know, because I started doing this a long time ago and there were not good liquid ferts on the market.
Mm,
And so I dose dry. And, you know, it works. It's just kind of a pain in the ass.
yeah,
And Easy Green is really easy. So
agreed.
Nilife G also works. I've also used that. I'm sure Tropica works. Um, you know, there's other options that would work.
Yeah,
But
I'm looking for cheap and easy too. Like I, because the dry ferts, yeah, that's cheap, but then
it's
like
not
then
easy.
that's
Yeah,
not
it's not
easy.
easy. Yeah, and you have a lot of tanks, so like Easy Green gets expensive. Nilife G gets
Right.
expensive. Yeah, I get that. I mean, for me, it's not so bad because I only have 3 tanks. And, you know, I go through a bottle of Easy Green, let's say every, I don't know, 3 months maybe, which is still like, I'm not going to say it's not cheap, but it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thrive is nice. I've used it. I like Easy Green a little better. I'm both are fine, you know.
I like Thrive. I use Thrive in my low tech tanks because like the mosh pit, for example, it's got plenty of
Right.
nitrates, but it
Yeah.
always needs micros and potassium and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I use
Yeah,
the
and I have CO2 for one, and I have so many immersed plants that they just chew through it.
mhm.
So Myrtle says you can get cheap ferts, but they won't be easy. You can get easy ferts, but they won't be cheap. You can get cheap and easy ferts, but they won't grow plants well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, I've seen that like on Greg Sage's website, there's an
I have some of that too.
all-in-one.
That one's it says to mix with water, so I've got that one, and I'm trying that one in a different tank. So we
Yeah,
shall see. And I don't
yeah.
even like the Greg Sage one. I'm like following my own instructions because his were weird. It was like it was a small amount that you mix with like a gallon of water, and then you put like a crap ton of that in like once every 2 weeks. And like, no, that's not how I'm gonna
No, well, I
fertilize.
mean, the thing is, Greg Sage is a really
Mhm.
great fish breeder. And he has really cool, like, he has those famous Odessa barbs, but he's not really like known for his plants.
Yep,
So
and that's another one where I don't know what's in it. I assume
and
that it
I
has
know it is like,
nutrients.
yeah, and it's like, at least like with Nylac G and Easy Green, which all fertilizers sold in the United States are supposed to have that. They're supposed to give you the NPK number.
Yep.
So, and you should be able to read the ingredients so you can see what the iron chelator is. So, and Moose, so glad you could make it.
Taboose.
Yeah. So you've been working really hard because you're
Hmm.
working at that nursery, and this is the busy time of year at nurseries. So yeah, you're probably getting super jacked though. The strongest I've ever been in my life was when I worked at a nursery. I was so strong just from just lifting shrubs. But maybe you were already jacked. So, but I was a 17-year-old girl, so I was not especially jacked.
So yeah, Beck's saying she's tried the Easy Green. It just like in comparing
Yeah.
it to Thrive, it didn't work. And
Yeah.
it is interesting how these all-in-ones, like just some of them have issues
Well, they
with
have
certain.
slightly different micros. They have
Hmm.
slightly different composition of micros. I can't notice a difference on mine, and so I just get easy green because I'm ordering things anyways from the co-op because
Yeah.
I like to keep extreme krill flakes and spirulina flakes on hand for food. So, I'm ordering from the co-op anyways, so I get it. However, I have used Nalec G and I do think it works. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So, Coral mentioned hair grass like shallow tanks. So, a 20 long or a 40 breeder would be ideal. I tried it in a 55, but it failed. So, a 55 is not exactly a deep tank. Your hair grass probably failed because it honestly prefers CO2. It really
Yeah.
likes
Well,
it.
and
It's
and
never
and
going to
light.
do, it's just never, it does need light, but it really needs CO2 to
Yeah.
thrive and to look good. I mean, I have it in a 40 breeder
A
and it really,
55, it is pretty it's pretty deep whenever
yeah,
you
but it's
have
not like a 90. It's not like a 90. And there are
it's
people
pretty
who
damn close though,
there are
honestly.
people
Like,
who grow hair grass in 75s and they're
mhm.
aquascapers and they have no problem. It needs CO2. I mean,
Speaking of
yes,
which,
it
I
does
still have
need
that par
sufficient,
meter. I need to,
but
and I'm gonna do a few more tests this week on the par meter. And that's the other thing. I have I have Jenna's 55. There's a single Higer light, and it's on risers in her 55. And stuff
wow.
still, well, I mean, I don't have anything super high tech in there, but her tank is actually getting really well balanced. So I want to see what the par is at the substrate on that
Nice.
one.
Yeah.
And it's no CO2, just that Higer light.
A low tech tanks can work. It's just careful plant choices, really.
Yeah,
I
and like
mean,
it's a thin layer of aqua soil and
yeah,
root tabs and sand. So,
yeah, and it's careful plant choices. I
hmm
mean, picking the right plants for the job. So, Bunny Viper says I bought small crickets for my archers and my rainbows destroyed them. So I would caution you to maybe not do that again. Um,
wait, where are you looking at?
Bunny Viper. Says I bought small crickets for my archers and my rainbows destroyed them. So rainbows
Oh,
have very slim throats, and I have seen them choke on bugs that have gotten in the tank, and they get stuck in their stupid little mouths. And the rainbows are dumb. Like
yeah,
I've seen them choke on like a snail shell. They're dumb, and then you have to like try to scare it to get them to spit it out, and they can actually injure their throats. So I wouldn't do that again. Like I'm really careful that I feed my rainbows flakes or soft frozen foods or like baby brine shrimp because of their slim throats because they're just so dumb. Even pellets, I don't think it's a good idea to feed pellets. I used to feed like extreme sinking wafers because my Corys really like them, but the stupid rainbows would catch them off the substrate and then they would choke on them and they would be stuck in their throats for like an
yeah.
hour. So you just got to be careful because rainbows are so dumb. They're just so dumb.
Dumb and pretty.
Yeah, dumb and pretty, that's for sure. So Geek Boy says I mix the krill flakes and spirulina flakes and I grind them in a mortar and pestle to fry. Oh wow, I bet they really like that. I mix the krill flakes and the spirulina flakes too. Rainbows
Yeah,
really like it. My all my fish like it actually,
I
but
do
I
like a super mix now from Ken's Fish.
oh, that's cool.
I
Yeah,
have like I probably mix like 5 different flake types together in one container now.
yeah. It's okay, Bunny. I know this because I had a giant fly get in my aquarium. You know, one of those like huge, like really big house flies. And this rainbow was even pretty small and it caught it.
Hmm.
And I was so scared because it was stuck in it. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to have to catch this fish and try? Well, I was able to, like, in trying to catch it, like, I scared it and it spit it out. And I've had that happen with a sinking wafer, and I had it happen with a snail shell once with one of my bigger Aves Creek rainbows. So, yeah, they're just really dumb fish. Yeah, really dumb fish.
And what does
So,
Specs use
oh
a
crap!
coffee
I also
grinder?
feed dried mysis. Yeah, Bunny, I tried dried mysis. It's too big and it kind of sticks in their throats. I don't
Hmm.
recommend that one. I think that if you're gonna do frozen, I think Daphnia is good. Brine is pretty small. Bloodworms, they love bloodworms. So if you want to do a freeze dried fruit food, freeze dried bloodworms, I think are okay. But I really like flakes for dried food because they it's pretty safe for their little throats. So yeah, they're
Yeah,
just dumb fish. You're trying to be nice to them, but they are dumb. So Nathan says I've been soaking the pellets lately. I feed tiny pellets, but I find I soak them, they actually get eaten. Yeah, you can soak pellets. I've heard that some people do that for rainbows. I am not going to bother to soak pellets. That's too much work. I'm not doing that. Rainbows, it's never a problem to get them to eat food. They will eat
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
I mean,
Just
they're pigs.
big old fistful of flake and let it cloud the tank. They'll find every bit of it.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll even eat off the bottom too. Like
And
I've been told they don't, but they do.
everything does eat flake. I mean, like,
Hmm.
my eels, the cories, the hill stream loaches, everything will eat it. So that's why those are the primary dried foods I feed. But then I also feed frozen foods and I try to hatch baby brine out every now and again. And,
Hmm.
you know, those are good choices, but they're just dumb. So Orcas and Endlers says I have to feed Hikari crab cuisine at night in my tanks with bettas because they insist on trying to down those huge pellets. I don't think I know that food because
I've heard of it.
I've
Never
heard
tried
of
it
it,
though.
but I don't know like what size it is. I know that they make betta pellets, but like, hmm, do they get stuck in their little faces? I don't know.
Oh.
I've only had one betta ever and it's been a long time. So I am not really a betta expert.
Lately, I've been using a lot of Vibra Bites just because it's just easy. I can just like take a pinch of them and just toss
Yeah.
them down in the tank.
Yeah.
And the puffer will eat them, and the
Yeah. I would
tetras.
not feed Vibra Bites to rainbows. I would
I
worry
feed
they
them to
would.
rainbows all the time.
Oh, do they don't get stuck in their
Not at all.
karma?
They're small enough that
Okay.
they
I've
it
never fed that food before, so
and
I
they get
don't know.
fairly soft in the water pretty quickly, and
Okay.
so like it's just like eating a little tiny worm for them.
Okay. Yeah, I've never fed that food before, so Moose says, so my beta-groats, which are his paludariums, just ended up eating all the mites in your paludarium self-sustaining tank. I'm sure they love that. I'm sure they think it's delicious. I yeah, I've had some in the plants growing on here. I've had some little pests before, and I just dunk them in it, and they love it. They love it. So Bunny Viper says
Greg
they like Daphnia. My problem is I keep some odd fish together. Yeah, rainbows do love Daphnia. They do. That's a
Greg
good.
said my tire track eel eats anything. I bet so.
Yeah, I'm sure
What do your dwarf red tails eat?
anything. They eat crowflakes.
Okay,
They just and they'll eat. Yeah, they're not picky fish. They're really like they're good community fish. They don't pester anything. They're not scared of. I mean, I guess I don't know if you'd want to keep them necessarily with. Well, I think they'd be fine with your puffer, honestly.
man. Well,
Yeah,
I think that tank is pretty well
yeah,
built, but the 90, I can start putting something else in there because
yeah,
like my super blue carry tetras are dwindling. My
yeah.
pseudomcgills, the only pseudomcgills I have left now are luminatus.
Pseudomygills just don't live that
Nah,
long.
a year and a half, 2 years, they're
Yeah,
done.
they just don't live that long. So unless you want to like get more or breed more, like they just don't live forever. So, but yeah, I mean, I think they're good community fish. I don't think you have to have a lid because they kind of hang out on the bottom. I mean, they'll come up to like mid level a little bit, but they're more like creeping on the bottom. So, but I think they're really cool fish. I really love mine. I mean, they're cute. Yeah, I like them. I have 8 of them
Nice.
because I just like them so much.
That's a lot, but
But
like
I bought them in a
do they
couple of
swim
baskets.
together? Like, or you see them in groups a
No,
lot? They
no,
just
no. That's why I
hmm.
think you know a couple. That's why like a couple of them. Brooklyn has 2 of them. I think is
It's like when
appropriate.
you see the footage of them in Dan's tank, because he's got like a billion of them in there, it looks really cool
It
watching him.
does, but like his tanks are really different than mine in
Mm.
that they're really open. And like, look at this mess. That's why I got 8 of them because I don't see them all the time. Like I'm looking in there right now. And like a lot of my fish I don't see all the time. Just I always see my rainbows all the time, which is partly why I love rainbows. They're always front and center. I always see them.
Hmm.
But like the other fish, I don't know. Where are they? Like, I don't know. Just a lot of plants in there. It's yeah. I mean, I need to thin that tank out. I'm probably gonna thin it out before I go to Wisconsin and
Yeah,
give a bunch of it to Fox Ann and Brian because they have like 200 or 300 or I don't even know how many tanks you guys have. You don't count them, so they'll have a place to
I
put
feel
them.
like they said 60 something
But I
that
know
are
that
in
like you never
use.
say no to adding more. So I feel like
No,
they could give a number, but that number could change next week.
yeah, they can give a range.
I don't know if I don't know if they want to count them all.
Mhm.
Maybe that's not a good idea. Regardless, they will have a place for those plants. So yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
I'm gonna try to thin things down because like the worst is the what's it called? The giant fern that takes over.
the giant fern that
Bulbous.
takes.
Bulbous.
Yeah,
Just I don't know. It's like it just gets so big. I'm thinking of getting rid of it.
I
Like
have a lot of it now in low tech tanks where it just kind of sits there and does nothing,
that's
but
true.
people like it, so occasionally I'll send some pieces of that out to
Yeah. I mean, but
members.
in a CO2 tank, I mean,
It's
I wouldn't
crazy.
say it grows fast, but it's like a glacier. I mean, like it creeps along, but then all of a sudden, like, you're crushed by it, you know.
I actually last night moved a crap ton of plants out of this tank behind me. So this is an old video. Like it's about half the mass right now. It kind of looks sad. So
I
hopefully it
literally
grows back.
sent so much of it to Dan of Dan's Fish that I
Mm-hmm.
had to put it in a trash bag. And then Johnny stuffed it all in one corner because I thought, oh, well, he'll spread it all out like along the back of it and it'll look really good. He just stuffed it all in one corner. It's ridiculous. And then I said, oh, you can spread it out. And he's like, nope, it's
He's like
there.
it
Can't be
stays.
moved.
It's
It
there for
can't be
life.
moved. It can't be moved. There it is.
Dennis, good luck
Oh,
tomorrow.
good
Hip
luck.
replacement surgery.
So I've worked in the orthopedics industry before. The recovery for hip replacement is very, very good. Much, much better than a knee recovery time. You're going to
Nice.
feel really good really soon and you're going to be glad you did it. So good luck to you. But it's a positive change for your life. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Brian says, not enough tanks. It's never enough. I don't know where Geek Boy is getting who would not choose sex over food. I don't know what precipitated that conversation.
It was because Craig's I think he's got some plecos that have started to cave up instead of eat. Yeah, L46 are caving, are not coming out to eat like normal. They don't want to give up their caves. So
I mean, I would say, like, are you a 20-year-old man? Or are you a 50-year-old man?
sometimes food is just too damn good.
It's a it's a different perspective, but the
Sometimes you get
20 year
real
old,
hungry.
the 20-year-old, maybe it's a little different.
20-year-old will starve to death.
That's right. Oh, but Craig is begging them because he wants more baby plecos. I don't know why you would want more baby plecos, but good luck to your fish and good luck to you.
Now it depends on the value of those baby
Well, this
plecos.
is
I don't
true.
want no more baby bristlenose.
Yeah, God. I mean, now Annette is stuck with all those baby bristlenose plecos.
She couldn't be happier about it.
I'm happy for
Hmm.
her. She is cursed with babies, though. I mean, all those kitties. I mean, granted, they are so cute, and I love kitties, but damn, a
Yep.
lot of babies. Annette.
1K each. Okay.
Oh wow. Oh
Now,
yeah. Well, yeah.
then fingers crossed that you just get
Fingers
overrun
crossed.
with them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, even in Australian dollars, like, that's a lot of money.
Oh,
That's a lot of money. Well, good luck. Oh,
a
that
lot
would
of
be so
dollar
exciting
dues.
for you. I hope you make some. I hope you get some babies. That's exciting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hope. Wow. So, Moose says the plants from my leaked 40 breeder went into rest mode in the low tech tanks, floating and filled its 30 low boy replacement. Same footprint, easier to plant and maintain. Okay. Leaking tanks, no fun. Mike, all things fish, he had a leaking BioCube saltwater tank. And now all the contents of that are living in a trash can. And he had to clean salt water creep off the basement floor. That's not very fun. That's not very fun. He's just been not home. Like, things fall apart when you're not around.
Yeah, just being gone for a week at Disney World just because like I wasn't checking on CO2 and so, one of them the pressure was too high so it didn't turn back on.
It happens.
And then the other one just kind of it ran out, which I knew it was running out. I just thought I had a little bit more than a week, but the thing about those CO2, the pressure gauge on it, once the pressure gauge starts moving toward the red, it's not like a linear
No, it's
needle.
not. It's
It
like,
just
yeah,
yeah. Once it starts
yeah.
moving, you have like a week.
I went ahead and so I had one 10-gallon tank and I had two 5 or 10-pound tank and two 5-pound tanks. And I went ahead and bought another 10-pound tank because it's too fast. So it's just because I have these two tanks are driven by one regulator, but the little tank is driven by one, and like that thing has lasted like 6 months, and it's or more. I mean, it
Mhm.
just goes through so little CO2. But these two, 5 pounds was just not lasting any time at
You
all.
can't. I could not imagine doing five
Yeah.
pounds on a 90-gallon all by itself, let alone having
No.
a 40
Yeah,
to
it
it.
was just chewing through CO2.
Nah, you
So
like get a. You have a 20-pound now, don't you?
no, I have
No,
10 pounds.
10 pounds. That's still not
They
that bad.
didn't have any 20-pound ones at my store. They don't stock those.
The
So I
next
would have
house we
to
get,
order
I'm getting
it.
a 50, or I'm gonna just get the biggest that
I think
I can
Gary
get
Lang
without it being like
Gary
overly
Lang has, I
expensive.
think, 100-pound one because he stole it from the lab. Which, I mean, that's what labs are for, is to steal equipment for your own personal use.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I too have done that.
Look, if they don't know it's missing, then like, what do they
And
need it for?
they never do. Labs always
Hmm.
have so much junk.
Yeah,
They never know. It's like I never bought like tubing because I would just raid the Tygon tubing. So, I mean, so yeah, but no, it's I always tell people to buy the biggest tank that will fit in your stand because you won't regret it. So you run 5 pounds on your 90,
he's low
but
and slow
you
though.
also don't have to add very much CO2 because your
Hmm.
KH is really low. So it's not so bad for you. But this is driving two tanks, and my KH is a little higher. So I have to add a decent amount of CO2 to, you know, to be at
Yeah,
where I need to be. So yeah, also, you get super lazy about changing your CO2 out, Geek Boy.
yeah, it'll run out and then
And
I'll
you'll be
just
like,
let it
oh,
sit. Nah, whatever.
I know. Whereas I go and refill mine. So.
Yeah, next house
Yeah,
I think biggest tank I can get all of my CO2 injected tanks in one spot together so I can just like I think you can put up to 8 manifolds or something on the SR Aqua 6. I have to look at that.
yeah. No, I think it's a nice thing to have all your CO2 tanks together. I mean, I have two regulators. I could have driven it. I could have driven another tank off the one, but I'm glad I didn't. I think this
Hmm.
ultimately was a good choice. So, yeah, but the Geek Boy says my tanks run for a couple months in the red. To trickle
That's
CO2
crazy.
rather than blast it. But you can trickle CO2 because your KH is really low. We have to go a little bit higher. So we go through more of it.
Yeah.
It's just the way that goes. It's like
Sketty says,
when Bentley talks about the low and slow American barbecue method of CO2, he has a KH of 0. It's a different
yep.
world. It's a
And
different
that's what
world.
I do in the bowl, which is it's one bubble every 5 seconds in the bowl with the distilled water, and
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
plenty.
I mean, and so it's just, it's just different. It's just
But I
different.
have a Xyrus in that bowl, and so I'm like, and I have it like directly under the light, not surrounded by anything. Just
Yeah.
it's in the spotlight with the CO2. Let's see if I can get that to do anything.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Yeah.
We'll see. Sketty says she hopes to own some Peplin quarries one day, and I can say
Oh.
there are some nice quarries to own.
Well, I can say that you will never be happier than with fish from Peplin Creek Aquatics.
Hmm.
I got some rainbows from Foxanne and Brian recently, and they are so nice. And each fish is individually bagged, and each fish gets a little kiss before it's mailed off. And they're all packaged so well, and they all arrive alive. And I'm thrilled with them. They're
They
so
ship
nice.
like Dan does,
They
except they
do.
give each fish a kiss, and Johnny
Yes.
has yet to do this for me.
Yeah, Johnny, where's our kiss? Come on. Well, the only difference is there is no overnight shipping for their zip code
Never had a
where they
problem with it
live.
though.
But They package them to make it, and make it they do.
Mm.
I also have gotten shrimp from Roxanne and Brian before, and they were so healthy and so nice. And so if you order from them, you'll be very happy. You'll be very happy.
Oh
So
yeah.
maybe a mod can put a link to that store. You can't get an axolotl right now. You have to wait till the fall if you want an axolotl.
My
So,
orange Venezuelans from Diane are gorgeous. So
oh,
are
I bet
ours,
they
and
are.
they are
That's a nice
reproducing like
fish.
mad.
Yeah. Whew. That's a
All
nice
right.
fish.
So it's time to send people over to
It is.
Scotty's
Go to
Fishy Fireside
Scotty,
Chat.
and my dog is like, we gotta go outside.
She's like,
So
"What the hell, lady? An
she's
extra
like, we
hour."
have to pee, and also I'm awake, which means it's time for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
All
thank you,
right.
everyone.
Thank you very
And thank you
much.
to our mods. And thank you to our super chatters. Thank you to our lurkers and our replay crew. And thank you,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of you, for joining us. I missed you since it's been a couple weeks, and Steven missed you too, though he saw you on other streams. So,
Yeah. And won't see you next week here, but
right.
hopefully y'all will head over to Fish Fam Link's channel and try to win some cool
Right.
shit from Dan.
It'll be a good time because I'll be with Dee Dee and Annette and Jenna. Jenna's on that too, right?
Oh yeah,
So it'll be a party. We'll have a good time. So
indeed.
we won't have Steven. I guess Steven could pop in.
I usually spy backstage until it starts.
You could do that. You could poke your head in the room. I mean,
Maybe, I don't know.
yeah. Or you could just
Anyway,
hang out in the chat.
yeah,
So, but thank you, everyone. And we'll see you when we see you.
indeed. Bye bye.
Bye.